Hey, what's up? It's Tackless. Today I have a really cool, simple tutorial to show you guys that I'm sure a lot of you have been wanting to do, haven't figured it out yet. It's really simple. We're going to be looking at how to earn points by killing or damaging enemies and then using those points to buy weapons, armor, health, ammo, whatever floats your goat. It's really very simple. So first off, what we got here is in the top left corner of my screen, I've got the UI that says cash. I've also got team score and time, but who really cares about those at the moment? Got 3 enemies ahead of us. If I damage them, I get 10 points per hit. Now I hadn't managed to hit all 3 in one shot, so killed that guy, I got 100 points. So as we kill these guys, we get lots of points. Now we'll go over here, come to this terminal, buy an assault rifle, cost $100. So we'll hit X, and we get the weapon. Now, if I didn't have $100, it would have given me an error, and now I can't rebuy it. Now, you can change those, for sure, but let's get into how to do it. It's really easy. So, I'm going to go ahead and delete all the code and whatnot that took to build this. Delete, 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 delete. Come on. Maybe should have just started with a blank world. We'll run with it, though. Okay. Got our enemies. I didn't do anything to the enemies. They're just normal drag and drop enemies, so we don't need to remove them. And then there we go. So everything's back to normal now. We've just got our guy spawned in. I have placed 3 demons here. Doesn't matter what demons. Step 1, let's add the way to get points. So we're going to hit add. We're going to bump her over to... Where's it at? Still trying to figure out where everything is here. We're going to be looking for enemy AI proxy. There we go. It's right at the beginning. AI proxy. So this pretty much is just applies to all the demons on the map depending on what happens to them. So with the AI proxy, we'll interact with it. First, we'll do on killed. When on killed, let's drag it kind of just over here. Now you'll notice that it gives us just a logic chain without an end. Now we need to do something with this chain. So we'll hit A to pick another object. So on killed, we're going to bump her over to, let's see, variables. And we're going to do player resource. Place that. Now it will allow us to pick a resource that we've made prior or make a new one. I'm going to go ahead and make a new one. And we're going to do add. We've got subtract, add, set, and spend. Hopefully you, just in case you don't understand those. Subtract removes from your total score. Add obviously adds to your total score. Set means that it would just fix your value to a certain number, regardless if it's higher or lower. And then obviously spend, you would be losing money. So we're going to put add. So now we've got this wonderful logic chain. So we've got all of our AIs. When they're killed, we're going to add this resource. Let's go ahead and go to this resource. And we'll put an icon on it just for good measure. Let's put, I like that icon. Green, money, sounds good. So we'll save that. Now the important thing is that we hover over this, I don't know what they call these things, the little nodes or whatever, and we'll go into properties. The value is how much it's going to be adding. So I'm going to put that to 100 if I don't amazingly overshoot it. 100. So when an enemy is killed, the player will get 100 points. Now this is regardless what kind of enemy. Every demon will give the same amount of money when killed. Now, I'm going to be modeling a little bit off of Call of Duty Zombies here, how you get points when you damage them. So, when hurt, we're going to do a lot of the same thing. We're going to hook it back up to the same module for money, and then we're going to put add again. So it's really about the same line of code. Let's move this code around a little bit so we can see it better. There we go. So on hurt, adds resource. Now we're going to change this resource to 10. And then on hurt, we need to change the activator from demon to attacker. That way the attacker gets cash. So that's it. That's how you add the point system so that all of your enemies give points when damaged or killed. Pretty neat, huh? I think it's pretty neat. Next, let's really quickly add the way that we can see it. So let's go over here to, I think it's communication. Yep, we're going to go to HUD settings, place that, and we're going to put in the top left, we're going to put that to a variable. We can name this variable money. There we go. And the variable itself we get to pick out now. So there's several variables that we can pick. There's an integer, a number, a boolean, a string, and then our resources. This is a resource I was using in my demonstration. This is the one that we're going to be using now. There we go. And obviously we can change the color and stuff like that. Let's see if we can get rid of these other ones. Now we can't, I think. Let's just put these guys to variables. See what happens. Okay, there we go. Now this won't go into effect immediately. We have to make it start. So we'll interact with it, and we'll put set active. And we're just going to hook it up to our player and put on spawn. So as soon as our player spawns in, our HUD, which is heads up display, will activate. So now we've got two good parts done. We can get points, we can see those points. Now let's spend those points. So first, let's grab an interactable. There we go. Panels are wonderful. There we go. Panel. Now let's also make it look nice. So we're going to go over here to communication. This world text is wonderful. So let's put a text above it. We're going to change this text so it says buy, let's do minigun, if I can spell, buy minigun. Now, people may then quickly ask, well, how much is your minigun? So let's go ahead and tell them. We're going to duplicate it, drop it just straight down, pull it forwards just a fuzz, place it. That's off-centered. We'll deal with it. Let's shrink the text size down just a fuzz so it looks like a subtitle. We'll change the color. Let's make it a little bit red. So we'll drop green and blue down. We'll make it red. There we go. All right. Oh yeah, we actually forgot to change the text on it. Text. Cost 150. There we go. So that tells us the cost. Now we're also going to put one more of these for an error message. So let's duplicate that again, drop it down, place it. Actually, we need to raise that up just a fuzz. There we go. There. Now select it, and we're going to put not enough money. There we go. This is going to be our error message if they don't have enough money, obviously. Okay. Geez, just trying to get it in a good spot. There. Okay. Now, one more thing we also need to do is we may need it so that this one doesn't show. So these two, buy minigun and the cost, they will show, but not enough money won't show. Now comes the fun part. Interacting with it. So, on used, we're going to have it look for a variable. Let's bump her over to the variables. And that variable is player resource. So let's place the player resource. I'm just going to build it straight outwards. And it's going to be referencing our money. And what we're going to be doing is we're going to spend. Now you might wonder if that's a little bit simplistic, or where are the options for everything else. Don't worry, it's coming. So now we've got on used, spend money. Now we need to tell it how much is it going to spend. We're going to have it spend $150 or money, whatever. And now it's not going to immediately spend it. What it's going to do is this tile is going to check whether that player has money or not. So we're going to select this, and now there's a few different options here. There's on player spend resource succeeded. That means that it just checked with the player and the player has enough money to make this transaction. That's what we're going to select first. And let's drag the logic this way. So when it succeeds, we're going to go ahead and use the spawner, spawn in a weapon. Place the weapon over here. Spawn object. Now we need to tell it, yep, chain gun, it's already set up. It knows what I want. Now, I'm also going to add one more line of code on it succeeds. We're going to go back to our terminal, connect logic, and disable interaction. That's one bit I kind of forgot. We need to go to this terminal, and we need to set reuse to true. That way, when it fails, the player can use it again to try again. Now, it's worth mentioning that if you wanted the player to be able to re-buy this gun repeatedly, you wouldn't want this line of code to disable interactions. But that's up to you, just so you know what to do. Now let's go back here and code what happens if the player fails. So if the player has $140, they fail. They don't get to buy. If they fail, stop listening. It makes me wonder what it hears sometimes to activate it. So what we're going to do, actually, rather than spawning something in, we're going to hover over this not enough money, connect the logic, and show. Now I'm going to drag this over here so we have plenty of room. Now here comes the next part. We want it to display this object, but not for very long. The text, I mean. Display not enough money. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a second logic code back to the exact same object. And we're going to do hide. There we go. There's hide. Sometimes these logic nodes like to run away. So now you also might be thinking, well, it's going to tell it to show and hide at exactly the same time. Don't need to worry about that. We're going to put an input delay on the hide for 2 seconds. That way, what's going to happen is that this text by default doesn't show. If the player interacts with it, and this checks to see if they have enough money. If they do have enough money, they go that way, they get their weapon. If they don't have enough money, they go this way, which immediately tells this object to show, saying, you don't have enough money. Then after 2 seconds, it's going to hide that. And then they can repeat the process all over again. So yeah, let's go ahead and test this out. That wasn't so bad, was it? Plus now you're starting to understand the logic of this game. If you're like me, and I was going into this kind of hoping for the logic of like Project Spark, and this is entirely different, but it's now making sense, so I like it. Alright, so we got our 3 demons. I'm going to ignore them and interact with it to see if I get my fail. Not enough money, don't get my gun. So now we have some enemies to kill. Now let's buy our minigun. And our minigun is here. Yes, and now I can't interact with it again. So yeah, hopefully that tutorial was helpful. There's lots of other things you can spawn rather than a gun. I can show you a couple of those really quickly. So if we go over here, go to this, rather than spawn weapon, let's see. We can delete that. We can add a spawn for ammo. So then, let's see. Spawn object ammo. Now it's worth mentioning that on ammo, we can either have it spawn over here, or actually, well, we need to hover over this node here. We can have it spawn at this location, or if we switch this to activator, it'll spawn directly inside of the player, and they'll immediately pick up the ammo. So they won't have to like walk over and pick it up. I'm sure there's a way to do that with the gun, other than using the loadout option, but I haven't experimented enough to figure that out yet. So I thought you guys would like to know how to earn points, spend points, and see points. So let me know what you guys think. If you have any other ideas or requests or something along that nature, be sure to let me know, and I will see if I can figure it out and get a tutorial up. Yeah, thank you guys for watching. Have a good day.